This edition, Premier and President visited Qellam Wallagga Zone. Democratic Republic of Congo, outbreak of Ebola, not global emergency. Hello and welcome. This is OBN Voice for the People. I'm Al-Khalil with the news. Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, called on all to join hands in fighting against those who are trying to trap Ethiopia under the yoke of poverty. The Premier has visited Dambidolo town, taking part in multiple events, including the inaugural ceremony of Dambidolo University. Leta Teresa has more on that.
Dambidolo University has officially been inaugurated in the presence of higher federal and regional government officials, including Prime Minister of Ethiopia and President of the Oromia Regional State. Minister of Education Dr. Tlegete, who made a remark on the inauguration ceremony, recalled that Ethiopia has achieved the Millennium Development Goals by realizing education access. The minister emphasized that many stakeholders have played a significant role in the establishment of the university. Dr. Tule stressed that more concerted efforts of all concerned bodies is needed in helping the university to enable it perform its work in a desired manner.
The contribution of students, leaders, government employees, and the surrounding community is crucial for the university to grow, become a conducive learning center, as well as research center, and to give life-changing service to the society.
He noted that the ministry would be committed more than any other time to ensure quality education. On the ceremony, Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, stressed the role of Lake Asayo people in showing the importance of education, being the first educated people in the country.
Lake Asayo, Jadalan, Bekamudu Wasontain, Bekumsan Bekamtu.
Lake Asayo people are not known only by love, but also by knowledge. Lake are the people who were able to show the advantage of education to the people of the country by being educated at a time when illiteracy dominated the country.
The Premier hoped that the newly inaugurated university would play its role in producing competent citizens. He called on all Oromo people to contribute their share in keeping good image of Oromo through accommodating nations, nationals, and people of the country as ever.
Oromoni naannoo kana barattoonni Oromoo hunda caala sabaaf sablammiin.
Above all, you have to discharge the responsibility to teach the nation, nationalities, and the people who live among you about Oromo identity, our precious culture and values, by showing them tolerance, love, language, and hospitality.
Dr. Abiy urged the public to work hard, focusing on how to improve their livelihood using knowledge. The Prime Minister called on the public, especially the youth, to stand by the side of the government, as well as strengthen national unity, so as to maintain the gained victory.
Using the obtained opportunity, you have an assignment to bring progress for our people and our region.
By doing so, it is possible to bring about the intended goal, both at regional and national level, he underscored.
As you stood with us yesterday, we must listen each other, stand together, especially yours. Your contribution is crucial to enable us maintain the already gained victory. If we do so, Oromia and Ethiopia could be changed. What impairs our development and makes us to live with problem is corruption. If we alleviate the act of corruption, we can develop our economy. If we work properly and clean-handedly, we will have enough economy, even for others.
Addis Ababa University, the first university in Ethiopia, and there are now over 50 universities in the country, state-owned universities, and there are many private universities as well, and Dambidolo University is among those 50 and so universities of the government in the country. Meanwhile, President of the Oromia Regional State, Lama Magarsa, who has paid a visit to Dambidolo with Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed, said education is a key tool to get proper respect as citizens and to get cope with the growing challenges in this century. Fukad Burhanu has the story.
Dambidolo University has been inaugurated today, where Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, President of the Oromia Regional State Government, Lamma Magarsa, and other high government officials attended the ceremony. President of the university, Dr. Dalasa Bulcha, who made welcoming speech, said the day is a special day for Dambidolo residents. Today is a special day for Dambidolo and its environs community, because they have got a response long-term question, that is Dambidolo University. The university has finished its first phase construction and started teaching. President of the Oromia Regional State Government, Lamma Magarsa, for his part suggested that previously there were many challenges to attend education, especially for low-income families. But now there are many schools and higher educational institutions in the country, he added. As a nation, as well as a country, education is key for our success. We are always thirsty of education. That is why we answered the question of this community. President Lamma noted that Kerlem was source of scholars and home of education, but now it has been left as history and asked the new generation to work on reviving it. As we all know, Kerlem is a place where different scholars came from, but now it has been leaving us as history. The current generation should avoid such things and ready to sustain it. If we do so, we can rebuild yesterday's Kerlem. Lamma has also called upon Dambidolo town's residents and the youth to keep the peace of their university. You have a great role in keeping the delivery service of this university. There are many students attending their education from different nations. We should live with them through keeping their peace. I call upon the residents, scholars, students, especially Oromo's youth, to play your level best in keeping the university's peace.
Yeah, among the many universities in the country, and many of them are found in Oromia, the largest regional state and the most populous regional state among the nine nations, nationalities, and people's regional states in the country that are found under the federal system of the country. Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, has visited the United Arab Emirates, discussing bilateral and regional issues with Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of UAE Armed Forces, or Commander-in-Chief. We have more on this. Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, has visited the United Arab Emirates and discussed various issues with Crown Prince of the country, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, who is also UAE's Deputy Chief of Staff. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has invited UAE investors to come and invest in Ethiopia in the tourism industry. The Premier expressed that his country is desirous to work with UAE on technology, trade, investment, and health, among others, where they have agreed. The Ethiopian delegation led by Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed has also visited industries in Masdar City, where a factory which works on green energy has been visited. Dr. Abiy requested the Emiratis for technology transfer.
The tissue part, that's the most easiest way to handle cancer. But before you treat cancer, you have to understand tissue. So the smallest particles of any system help us to understand and to fix it. Nano, bio, convergent is the future science, new science.
Ethiopia exports 60% of its beef export to United Arab Emirates. Representatives of the Ethiopians living in Abu Dhabi have held discussion with Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. Yeah, our reporter from Afan Oromo newsroom, Ephraim Tafara, was there, and that news was reported in Afan Oromo by our reporter, and I've translated that. And well done by Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, by discussing various issues with UAE government. Following Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed, who has visited Saudi Arabia, the Saudi government set free more than 1,000 Ethiopian prisoners. 690 of these prisoners have been released and now arrived in Ethiopia. Ministry of Foreign Affairs disclosed that ensuring citizen security is the core of Ethiopia's foreign policy direction. Sorichak Abanecha has more on that.
Following the visit of Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed to Saudi Arabia, the Saudi government has agreed to free Ethiopian prisoners. Saudi government has freed 1,000 Ethiopian prisoners by in first round, and 690 Ethiopians among them have arrived in Ethiopia. Some of the released Ethiopians talked to OBN that they were in difficult situations in Saudi Arabia's prisons. When I entered Saudi Arabia, I expected some good conditions, but I didn't get what I expected. Rather, I was sent to prison after 9 years stay in Saudi Arabia because I didn't have Saudi Arabia's identity card. That was why I was sent to prison for the last 2 years, he said.
I was in prison for 1 year. Everything is difficult in the prison. Now I am very happy by coming back to my home country.
I imprisoned only when 2 weeks remained to give a birth, and I gave birth in jail. Life was tough for us. Now our government saved us, she said. Some released prisoners said they were ready to work in their country hereafter and thanked the Ethiopian government for it has given its citizens.
Welcome back. Now to the news from abroad. The issue of Ebola, which is attacking Africa from time to time. And the World Health Organization has said an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo is not yet an international public emergency. It said there was a strong reason to believe that the outbreak can be brought under control. At least 45 people are believed to have been infected in the current outbreak, and 25 deaths are being investigated. Cases emerged in the rural area, with one now confirmed in the northwest of city of Mbandaka. The city of about 1 million people is a transport hub on the River Congo, prompting fears that the virus could now spread further, threatening the capital Kinshasa and surrounding countries. Ebola is an infectious illness that causes internal bleeding and often proves fatal. It can spread rapidly through contact with small amount of bodily fluid, and is easily flu-like symptoms are not always obvious. Although Ebola had already spread to an urban area, the experts said they believed the outbreak could be brought under control. The WHO said it had identified more than 500 people who had potentially come into contact with Ebola patients in the country. It said they would be closely monitored by symptoms of the disease and were likely to be among the first to be given an Ebola vaccine, which, although still is in experimental stage, proved effective during a trial. The WHO said some health workers had become infected with Ebola. The BBC reported. This Ebola, which first appeared in 1948, killed thousands in Western Africa, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and other countries around there. And now in Congo, it should be fought against that. Thank you for watching. Have a good time. Up next comes the pick of the week. I'll be back with that program. Stay tuned.